This is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod for the new Ibishu Pessima called Seems Legit. Now, there are three versions of this. There is the Seems Legit, there's a race, and then there's the monster. So I'll be starting off with just the regular Seems Legit, and we'll be working our way through all three of them eventually. So with this vehicle, it's got some crazy stuff going on. It does have the front half of an Ibishu Pessima, but even that front half has been modified quite a bit. So you have the fenders removed, and then it allows the wheels to kind of stick out a little bit farther and more aggressive looking when you do that. Also, you got this big old bar on the front for your front bumper. You got the exhaust that exits through the hood. You got a giant light bar on the top that just lights up everything. That thing is like blindingly bright when you look at it from this angle. It's crazy. And around the side, you got the door that says Seems Legit on it. And then the whole rear half is just completely different. It's basically a roll cage and a suspension that's been slapped onto this thing that is nowhere near normal for an Ibishu Pessima. So we're going to go ahead and drive this thing some. Now, the funny thing about this is it looks like it's a pretty serious off-road vehicle, and it actually is pretty decent off-roading, but it's only front-wheel drive. So those itty-bitty tires in the front, those are the only ones that get the power. Those two tires in the rear, they're just along for the ride, which is really kind of wacky. But it works. It's a very interesting car to drive because of that, because you got to treat it differently than you normally would, but it still has some capabilities going through here. Like right here, we could easily climb this hill without too much issue. It's got to get traction and keep on going, and we are up and over the hill, which I don't think a normal Ibishu Pessima could do that easily. Or the fact that this one is the Seems Legit version makes it a lot easier to do something like that. And you see, as we go over this terrain, it's doing pretty good. You do got to avoid big rocks like those ones, though. If you go up the big rocks, you're probably just going to crash into them with this thing, to be honest with you. But going over bumpy terrain like this, it doesn't have much problem doing that. Now, here's something that's really funny about this thing. You can make the engine just backfire like mad. Watch this. Okay, yes, I did crash in the process, but you got to see what I was trying to show you, which is the engine just going non-stop backfiring, which I think is just kind of hilarious because the normal Ibishu Pessima engine, yeah, it don't do that. Only the Seems Legit version does that. And it also looks like you got flamethrower coming out the hood, basically, when you're doing it like that, which is fun. So right now, it's still driving decently enough, so we'll drive along the dirt road for a bit. I'm still in manual mode, and it's honestly kind of hard to figure out what gear to be in because I feel like I'm hitting the rev limiter, but then at the same time, I'm not going as fast as I can in that gear. It's weird. Anyways, though, I want to crash this thing, so right into the rocks. Oh, look at that. You get some more flamethrower, too. Alright, that's enough flamethrower. Let's do another suspension test. This is going to be the jump test. We're just going to pop it off this edge, and well, apparently we're not testing the suspension much at all on that one. We're actually testing the strength of the roof of the vehicle, which is actually very strong because it's reinforced with that roll cage. Now the question is does the thing still drive good after that? Looks like it's doing pretty good. Might be pulling a little bit to the left, but not a big amount, and it's definitely workable. You could drive along this dirt road, no problem, going about 60 to 50 miles per hour most of the time. Get a little bit of air right there, and it handles that air very easily. Nice. All right, now, let's go off the road and see what happens to here. Oh, water slowed me down a lot. Thought we were actually going to be able to clear the water, but not quite fast enough for that. So we got to get up to speed once again, up to 40. 50. Oh, nope, we're downshifting. There's 50. All right, we're going to try to do another jump with this thing. So I'm going to go to the paved road to get up to speed, and then we're going to jump again. Over to here, all through the bumps. Don't care. We can drive it. Yep, there we go. And hopefully we can get up to speed and hit something to make us go into the air. I don't think we're going to be able to land it at all because we're going to land at an awkward angle, but here we go. Whoop, yep. Oh, that's all that did was ruin the front suspension. Like both of the axles in the front are broken, and now it's a fireball. Like, I was like, okay, the crash is over. No, it's not. There's still some fire now. Well, did a pretty good job until I absolutely ruined it. So how about we go ahead and take a look at the next version. This one is going to be the race version. I should have read the description for the other one. It says V6 and cut it in half. Nothing can be better than that, I think. This one is V6 and cut it in half. A race edition that doesn't really change anything but the front wheels and some sick nitrous. Who doesn't like sick nitrous? Everybody likes sick nitrous, right? Alright, so race version, let's go. We're going to do some racing. Start off by racing on the paved roads. How does it do for paved roads, really? Fine. It drives like a front-wheel drive car, but the back end does want to kick out a little easier than you'd expect, which makes it a little more fun to drive, I think. That's because it has big, chunky off-road tires, which don't get the best traction on a paved road, but they work excellently when you're on the dirt. But honestly, I like it here. It's very fun to drive for a front-wheel drive vehicle. It's completely ridiculous. It's decently fast. As you see, we get up to about 100 miles per hour through there. And then look at this cornering you can do. You can kind of whip it around like this, and the front wheels just pull you through it. And we were still going 60 miles per hour after that. Like, this thing is still moving at very reasonable speeds as you slide all over the place. So you can once again try to do a jump. This time we'll try to go from a different location. Maybe we'll actually fly some. So that's where we did it last time. So we don't want to do it there. Gonna wait a little bit longer. And then I'm going to try to dive off of here, which will hopefully, yep, there we go. There's a jump. And how are we going to land this? We have ruined the car trying to land it. Can we do anything at all? No. This thing is completely broken. Even the engine is broken. We can't even rev the engine. And I don't even think I have any steering. I have a little bit of steering on that wheel, but this wheel over here does absolutely nothing. This car has been completely destroyed, so we'll, instead of resetting it, I'm going to bring it back up to the road we were on. And then if we keep along this road for a little bit longer, eventually we get to the dirt road. We'll try it out on the dirt road as well. We could try it out over there too, but I think the dirt road is going to be more interesting because that's where this car really shines, it feels like. It feels like, yeah, it was designed for the dirt. It works really good, surprisingly, on the paved roads, but it was designed for the dirt. So here's the dirt road. We're going to do it in the not correct entry, but it can manage that. Yep, there we go. I got to tighten up on this corner a bit. Oh, goodness. I kept sliding. I did not foresee that. Okay, that corner got me. We're fine, though. We can still drive. And you know what? Let's put the nitrous on. It has the sick nitrous. We're going to use the sick nitrous. It's armed, but I don't know what it needs to activate. It might be like third gear or something. There we go. Third gear nitrous is going. Yeah, max power. Oh, water's slowing me down. So driving through the dirt, though, yeah, it works excellent. No problems here. It definitely feels like these vehicles in general are more designed for doing this and then light off-roading versus like rock crawling. You might think the monster with its giant tires, it'll be a rock crawler, but it's not. Oh! You know what? I might actually like this thing better on the paved roads. Because that is the second time I just completely blew through a corner. I don't usually blow through corners though. That's the thing. Like, it happens every now and then, but usually not that frequently. Maybe I'm just overestimating the vehicle. We'll slow down a little bit more and it should be fine. I think what's happening is I was expecting it to grip as hard as it was doing on the pavement, but that's just not going to happen on a dirt road. Even though the tires on this thing are designed for the dirt road, it's just not going to get as much traction. Ooh, but it's going to get enough traction to do something fun like that, where we sliding all over the place and are basically in full control, it felt like. I didn't feel like I was out of control, even though it kind of looked like it. It is kind of fun just to slide it around, although sometimes you go off course a little bit and then you get bounced. And when you get bounced, then you do get a little bit out of control because you're in the air. So like, here's the real test. There we go. There's a real corner where I slowed down enough to actually make it through nice and cleanly. So yeah, just stop overestimating the vehicle and I'll be fine. Let's cut through this water and try to climb that hill. I think I should be able to climb a hill like that. As long as we don't drown it. It was actually surprisingly close to drowning right there. All right, over the hill. Full speed ahead. That worked excellently, as you would expect, because the regular one could do it. So why wouldn't the race one be able to do it? No, we lost the wheel. Did not see that coming. All right, let's try to flip this thing over since we don't have a wheel. Hey, it worked. So really not much damage on the vehicle, all things considered. We just happened to lose a wheel, unfortunately. So why don't we try the monster one? This one is definitely the one that is the most fun to drive. First off, just take a look at this thing. This thing has some monster tires in the rear and then these itty bitty ones in the front. It looks hilarious. And the tires in the rear, those are not stock tires. You need another mod just to get those tires in the game. And I think it might be the same for the other tires you were seeing earlier. And one of the funny things I noticed about these tires is if you go into first gear and just floor it, eventually the tires kind of just look like they freeze into position because the tire's rotation speed just matches up with the frame rate of the game or something. So you'll see it every now and then where it just looks like the tire isn't actually rotating. Like right there, you can kind of see it perfectly on the right tire, at least is the one I'm looking at. And it just looks really funny like that, doesn't it? Just, they look like they're not spinning, but they totally are. Anyways, back to automatic mode and let's try to do some off-roading with it this way. The funny thing is it might actually be worse with the big tires. I really can't decide. Like, I don't think it's any better or any worse, to be honest with you, but it could be worse just because the big tires do bounce a little bit more, as you're seeing right here. Like, that is the one downside of big tires, is they bounce hard. I think we can still drive, though. It looks like we're fine. A little bit of a pull to the right side, but not enough to slow me down. And one thing that's I want to try is I want to try climbing things with the tires in the rear going backwards. Because, like, okay, you see that rock right there? There is absolutely no way I'm going to get over it climbing like that, obviously, right? But what if we do it in reverse? Can we get the car at least halfway over it before it gets stuck and bottoms out? That's what I want to see. So we're going to use the big tires for that. And again, those big tires, they don't have any power going to them. They are just being pushed along. So here we go. Come on. Go. Go. All right. From a standstill, not really working. Let's rev it. And then, nope. Okay. We're going to have to try to accelerate into it and just see what happens. We might just bounce off it and flip over. We might go over it. Let's see. Oh my goodness. It popped me up into the air, but we actually basically went over it. And I've got myself stuck literally between two rocks. Can I get out of this? Well, this is one way of doing it, I guess. Haha! That's actually a really good way of doing it. But driving this thing in reverse is surprisingly useful, it seems like. Look at this. Hopping it over things and whoops. Well, it's useful until you end up upside down. I'm gonna keep driving in reverse a little bit longer though. This is fun. Okay, let's climb this wall right here. Can we do it? Come on. No, I can't get traction. Can I get traction to even go forward? Barely. This is some rough sand to try to drive through without any momentum. That's the problem. We gotta get some momentum going. I almost wish it had gearing for reverse so we could actually go like 60 miles per hour in reverse. All right, here we go. Watching it go. It's just bouncing, but it's going over the terrain with surprisingly little issue. Like it made it down that hill. I thought we were gonna for sure get wrecked or something. It made it down the hill. It's still drivable. It is pulling to the side though because it just pulled into the tree. I was telling don't go into the tree. And it's like, no, I'm gonna go into the tree anyways because I'm damaged. So that's a little unfortunate. Any more rocks around here that I could crash into? Not really. So we're going to bring it back to the home position, which is way up here. And I know there's some rocks around here we could try to climb up. So away we go. Come on. Oh, goodness. It wants to go whichever direction it wants to. That's the funny thing. I can steer. It's kind of just a suggestion. If the car wants to go the way I tell it to, great. If it doesn't, well, it's not gonna. There's a big rock. Come on. Oh, no. Oh, you know what we gotta test? We gotta test. Can we climb over another car with the monster tires on the rear? That's what we gotta do. So bring this thing back up, and we need a car that's not too difficult to climb. So we're gonna go with a track version of the 200BX. It's a very wedge-shaped vehicle, and it sits pretty low to the ground, so it could be a climbable vehicle. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just park it on the paved road over here, and you can see it should be possible. And why is the engine starved of oil? That was really strange. I don't know what caused that. Weird. Anyways, here we go. We're going to try to climb it with some momentum. Not a lot, just like 15, 10 miles per hour in that range. Oh, there we go. It works. I don't know if I can. I think I might be stuck right now, but it does work. There we go. We went over them. All right, we're going to try this again. This time we're going to do it with no momentum. We're just going to basically back into them and stop and then keep accelerating and see what happens. So here we go. Back into them. Stop, and then keep accelerating, see what happens. Oh, it gets over it. Super easy. The hard part is just continuing to go over it because you got to rely on those front tires to get yourself moving. And you're not going to have the front tires both on the ground at the same time. So you got to have some kind of precision right there to really get it over properly. Let's try that one more time with a little bit more precision. Actually, you know, this thing's so wide though. I how wide those rear tires are. It kind of almost goes on both sides of it. That's interesting, but look, it works. Ah, now we got no tires on the ground, basically, though. That does not work. Come on, get off of it. All right. Either way, that works pretty well. I'm really happy with that. All right, let's go wreck this thing. We're gonna go high speed, like 80, 100 miles per hour, somewhere in that range, and we're just gonna fly up that hill and see what happens. Maybe even get a little slow-mo here. There's first flight. Suspension can take it. Can it take this? Ooh, we're actually going up the hill. We're not really driving up it so much as bouncing up it, but we made it up most of the way. That's impressive. Now we're gonna fall down though. Can we land on our wheels? That is the question. We're gonna roll a lot. Come on, and we land on our wheels, but we're also on a rock, which makes it impossible to accelerate. All right, I want to do a little bit kind of suspension testing stuff. So for that, we're gonna go all the way over to a different world. We're gonna go to Feel the Bump. And of course, for this, we gotta use the monster. That's just the most fun one to drive. This seems legit. That's nice and all, but the monster, well, it's a monster. All right, here we go. First things first, we gotta get down the hill. Shouldn't be too difficult as long as we take our time. Nice and slow, and floor it. And go real fast over to the bumps. All right, going 70 miles per hour on these bumps. How does that rear suspension do? And the giant tire, it's gliding over it magnificently. Like, this is amazingly smooth. If you're doing only one side of the vehicle on a suspension test, usually that shakes it to bits. This thing is going great. The difference in spacing making it a little bit more bumpy, but still surprisingly smooth. Like, look at the vehicle itself. Look how little shaking there is in the body of the vehicle. There is very, very little for going over bumps at these kinds of speeds. Although now we're not on the bumps because I was looking at the vehicle. We'll get back under the bumps. And then, again, watch for the minimal amounts of shaking going on here. That is a thing of beauty. It's just because the suspension's not really absorbing the impact that much here. Like, it's doing a little bit of work, but I think a lot of it is being absorbed by how cushy those tires are. Look. See how the tire just kind of easily goes over those and deforms just a little bit? That's what's allowing it to be so smooth, is the cushiness of the tire. So this is in full speed right here. And again, the car is so smooth and stable. Well, difference in spacing can make it a little bit not so stable, but overall, that was a very, very impressive. Let's go back down and we'll try it on this different set of bumps, see if the increased spacing does. Oh. So here you can see the increased spacing is not good. It's bouncing the rear up and out of the way. So it really just depends what kind of bumps you got. But even here, for the bumps we're hitting, it wasn't bouncing the vehicle that much. Although that bounced the vehicle some. I really do like Feel the Bumps right here for feeling the bumps on the cars. It's perfect for that because it has all these different distances and stuff. I gotta use this map more often. Anyways, full speed ahead. Let's climb that mountain and see what happens. We go back into the cave. Oh, we're on fire. Why are we on fire? We made it into the cave, but we are on fire. I'm not exactly sure what caused that. Anyways, that is the good test at Feel the Bumps. Now I want to do one final test on climbing vehicles. I know I already did it once, but I want to see how tall of a vehicle can we climb at Grid Map. So we already know it can climb over a car that's easy to climb over. What about climbing over a pickup truck, though? That's a little bit more difficult, I think. So we'll spawn it up. And then drive it in front and back it on up. So pickup truck, definitely taller. We'll do it with the slow approach. Make sure the parking brake is on for the pickup truck. It is. And then, all right. So going slow at it, then accelerating. It cannot do it like that with the pickup truck. How about going a little bit faster into it, like 10 miles per hour? Oh, all right. Well, sorry to be disappointing, but it looks like it can't climb the pickup truck. Its limits are about what you saw already. Well, I was curious. I wanted to make sure. Wait, get up. All right. With a crashing impact that can get on top of a pickup truck. Not going to do much more than that, though. Okay, so if we're doing crashing impacts, then let's go crazy. Let's see. Can we somehow get onto a T-Series using a crashing impact? It could be possible. It won't be easy, but it could be possible. Parking brake is on for them. Go ahead and get ourselves up to speed. That should be fine. And then here we go. Crashing impact on top of a T-Series somehow. Get a little bit of slow-mo here just to watch it happen. Let's go. No, that didn't work at all. Oh, that's too bad. Well, it was worth a try, though. It was definitely worth a try. It's not happening, though. So we're going to go ahead and do some final tests at Brutal Slope, and then we'll go to Leap of Death. The idea here is just to see how well does the rear roll cage area hold up in a ginormous impact. So we move the truck over to here. And for this one, yeah, let's just stick with the monster. I got no reason not to use the monster. I love the monster. The monster's my favorite. No doubt about that. So nice and careful. Let's start this off. And then we go. Full speed ahead, all the way up to 100 miles per hour already in just 4th gear. This thing has some long gears. 5th gear up to 150. Oh, it only has 5 gears. I thought it would have 6. Turns out I never went that fast with this thing. All right, we're just going to take it off the accelerator, let it coast. I don't want to blow up the engine. I mean, I could blow up the engine. I just don't feel like it, okay? And going to be a 220-ish mile per hour impact. And they go right into the wall, just barely actually hitting the wall. We almost missed it. So there is impact. How is that rear going to hold up? That is about what you would expect to see. It looked like it might have a chance, but with that much speed, it is going to get destroyed. And I like those 2 big tires just going off wherever they want to go. Like, they're out of here. The little tires, they stuck around for a bit, but big tires are gone. And actually surprisingly intact, aren't they? Where'd he go? Big tire, stop it. I want to look at you. Now, big tire over there is perfectly intact, it looks like. How about big tire over here? Yeah, also perfectly intact. And the reason I look at that is because this is what the small tire looks like. Was it a tire? Sure it was. If you say so, right? It doesn't look like it. Wow, that thing's actually rolling. Oh, it's a race now, huh? He's winning easy. Surprising how fast it's able to go right now. Like, I didn't think it went off the hill at that high of a spot, but I guess it did. It just keeps going. Is it ever going to stop? Oh, no, it's disappearing. It's disappearing. It's gone. All right, anyways, now we can go ahead and go back to the car and take one final look at it before we go to Leap of Death. So there's the car, all in its mangledness. Now, on to Leap of Death over here. And you already know what version we're going to be using here. I even like the color of the monster better than the race. The Seems Legit has the same color, so it's not really a comparison, but it looks good with this color. That red is a nice red. Although I wish it said monster on the door instead of just Seems Legit. That'd make it even better. Anyways, off the ramp we go at about 60 miles per hour, and then flamethrower mode activates. Just shooting flames like crazy as we fall towards the ground. All right, slow it down for this first impact 16 times. Let's go 100 times slow-mo here, actually. This is going to be a interesting looking crash because hitting it right on the side. Ooh. Ooh, that thing got demolished right there. That could not have hit at a worse angle, I think. That was brutal. Still has some shape to it thanks to the roll cage, but that thing's been stretched out a bit from that impact, it looks like. All right, just lost my other tire. And then we get a fall all the way around. Oh yeah, and if you're curious, are the tires like inflated enough to kind of make it work as a boat or something? The answer to that is no. I tried it. I was saddened. I didn't expect it to work, but I had to try it just to see. Because it looks like, you know, the tire is so inflated, who knows? But cars are heavy. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Till next time, this is WhyBeAre. If you like or dislike this video, I'll know. So, do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.